జీవితం బద్ధకానికి బద్ధకం ఇక్కడ బాధ్యత. బాధ్యత గల జీవితం బద్ధకంతో నిండిన జీవితం ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది? ఇక్కడ నేను కొన్ని విషయాలను రాసుకున్నాను. ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్స్ మోటో ఇస్ టు గివ్ ఎంజాయ్మెంట్ యాజ్ ఆడియన్స్ పే అటెన్షన్. It is not to educate people and add value to their life. By big screen make audience believe what actors portray, although they know reality through logic. The magic of movie impacts our subconscious mind to believe illogically. So as winners adore education, they never be victimized by entertainment. So they avoid it intentionally, although they are interested. ఎంటర్టైన్మెంట్ నినాదం ఏంటంటే ప్రేక్షకులు ఆస్వాదించడానికి వారి దృష్టిని ఆకర్షించడం. అది విద్యను అందించే సాధనం కాదు. పెద్ద బొమ్మ మనల్ని మాయలో మత్తెక్కించి దాన్ని నిజమని విశ్వసించేలా మనకి లాజిక్ తాలూకు ప్రభావాన్ని క్షీణింపజేసి మ్యాజిక్ ప్రభావంతో మూర్ఖులలా ప్రవర్తించేలా పరిభ్రమించేలా చేస్తుంది. కాబట్టి విజేతలు విజ్ఞులు కావాలనుకునేవారు అయినవారు వినోదానికి బాధితులుగా మారకుండా, అంటే వాటిని వైపు మొగ్గు చూపకుండా వాటిని అవాయిడ్ చేస్తూ జీవితంలో బాధ్యతను గుర్తించి గ్రహించి విద్యను అభ్యసించి జీవిత విలువలను నేర్చుకుంటే జీవితానికి పరిపూర్ణత పరమార్థం చేకూరుస్తుంది. కాబట్టి జీతం కాదు. జీతం లేకపోతే జీవితానికి ఊతం ఉండదు. కానీ మనిషి జీవితం ఊతం కోసం కాదు, విలువల కోసం. జీవితం అంటే విలువలు జీవితం అంటే జీవితం అనేది విలువలతో కూడినది. కాబట్టి బతకడానికి జీతం కావాలి, కానీ జీవితానికి విలువలు కావాలి. కాబట్టి జీవించడానికి విలువలు కావాలి, బతకడానికి జీతం కావాలి. రియాక్టివ్ పీపుల్ అనేవాళ్ళు బతకడానికి జీవిస్తారు. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళని బతకడానికి జీవించటం వల్ల బద్ధకం ఆవహిస్తుంది. విలువలకై జీవిస్తే వెలుగు వ్యాపిస్తుంది. బతకడానికి జీవిస్తే బద్ధకం ఆవహిస్తుంది. విలువలకై జీవిస్తే వెలుగు వ్యాపిస్తుంది. కాబట్టి హియర్ రియాక్షన్ టు రియాక్ట్ టు రెస్పాండ్. So your mind is going to be reaction mode to responsive mode, procrastinate to proactive mode. So here procrastination to proaction is all about viluvalu. And what is about these values? Values in life, I am going to tell you about why are values in life important. The different aspects of shared common and becomes the key motivator for those who share it. When I am going to tell you about 29 most important values of life first is courage. Number 1 quality is courage. Courage is about doing what you believe needs to be done, not in the absence of fear, but in spite of it. You might feel disinclined to offer a genuine apology out of fear that the other will reject it, but courage will help you apologize anyway, because it's the right thing to do. Out of respect for one you hurt or offended. Whether they accept your apology or not is their business. Courage requires a step outside of your comfort zone. If you have no fear, you don't need courage. But when something you have to do makes you feel sick inside, courage is what makes you do that thing anyway. Courage code or motto is I do what needs to be done, even when fear comes along for the ride. Next, kindness. Kindness is about treating others the way you want to be treated. It is more than just holding your tongue when you are tempted to say something unkind. Kindness looks for ways to make life better for others. It takes delight in lifting others up and reminding them they are not alone, invisible, or insignificant. Kindness and compassion are closely related. The latter involves the readiness to see a situation from someone else's perspective and to give them the benefit of the doubt. It also takes into consideration what the other person has gone through and chooses to respond with kindness rather than anger or vengefulness. Both demonstrate at least a subliminal appreciation for the connectedness of all living beings. When you show kindness and compassion to others, you benefit at least as much as they do. Kindness to yourself is also important, and it's the basis of self care. Don't forget to be as kind to yourself as you want others to be. Schedule time each day for reasonable and thoughtful self care and practice mindfulness to be fully present for it. In practice kindness to yourself, you also make yourself better able to render kindness to others. Kindness code: I treat others as I want to be treated, with thoughtfulness, patience, and respect. Third, patience. When someone is pushing your buttons, taking your time or attention away from something you want to finish, or making your life harder in some way, practice patience by putting yourself in others' shoes, trying to see the situation from their perspective and responding with kindness and respect. No one wants to be treated like an inconvenience or burden, and sometimes your priorities have to change to make room for something or someone more important or more likely to help you grow. Patience code: no matter how I feel, when someone interrupts me or gets in my way, I always treat them with the same patience I hope for from others when necessity compels me to interrupt them or get in their way. Integrity. Integrity is about acting and speaking in accordance with your beliefs. If you say one thing but do the opposite, witness to this contradiction are not likely to recognize you as a person of integrity. They are more likely to accuse you of hypocrisy. Although you may not be fully conscious of the disagreement between your words and actions, if you believe one thing but your action profess a contradictory belief, you might feel a growing unease and unhappiness with the way you are acting. It doesn't feel right. If you are faced with a choice, either change your belief or change your actions. Integrity code: what I believe is made clear by what I say and do. 5. Gratitude oblique appreciation. When gratitude is your core belief, you make time for every day. You prioritize both feeling gratitude and expressing it in your thoughts, in your words, and you speak are right, and in your attitude and actions. You might create the habit of writing a daily gratitude list. If you recognize the importance of emotion to the fullest experience of gratitude, you will likewise place a high value on the daily mindfulness practice. Showing appreciation to others with their words and actions is also essential to making this core value. Just as you appreciate it when others thank you for job well done, for a thoughtful gift, or for rendering the help they needed, others appreciate that recognition too. And far too often we act as though others must always know how much we appreciate them. Don't assume that they do. Make sure of it. Gratitude code: in the morning, throughout the day, and in the evening, I feel and express gratitude for the good things in my life, and I make sure everyone who has done something good for me knows I appreciate them for it. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is about letting go of anger and resentment toward those who have hurt or offended you. You are not saying what they did was okay or not a big deal. You are acknowledgement that what they did was hurtful, but choosing to forgive them in order to be free of anger and resentment that are making you miserable. In forgiving them, you take back your power and choose happiness and peace of soul for yourself, even if the one who hurt you has never shown the slightest hint of remorse. Everyone has a capacity for forgiveness, just as everyone has the capacity to hurt others with their words and actions, but not everyone has cultivated a habit of forgiveness. We learn to be more forgiving by forgiving more. If you write morning pages, add a short list of people you forgive, adding what you forgive them for and something you appreciate about each person. Forgiveness code: I forgive those who have hurt me because I know I have made mistakes and hurt people too. And I want to be free of this anger and resentment. I choose freedom and I choose to genuinely want or work for the good of those who have hurt me. Allah. Love sees the good in everyone and it wants good things for them. You may not always know what is best for someone else, but if you love them, you want their ultimate happiness and you want to see them grow. You recognize that no one reaches adulthood with their character fixed and unchangeable. We are all work in progress. Things your 20-year-old self would say might appall your 40-year-old self. It is part of being human. If you are a human that continues to grow. Did someone you love do terrible things in their 20s or 30s? Their things they would never do now in their mid 40s. Forgive them for not knowing better before they learned whatever stopped them from doing those terrible things. And forgive yourself for not knowing that human beings are all capable of terrible things, just as we are capable of growth. When you love someone, you don't base that love on the kind of person they were 10 or 20 years ago or on the person you hope they become or what you wish they were. Your love tells them you are enough, not just as you are today. You recognize that their beliefs and behavior may change as they grow. But since your love doesn't depend on what they believe or whether you agreed on everything, your love doesn't lessen with the time and with the challenges the changes bring. Love code: I love with both passion and understanding. Real love is wide awaken. Growth. If growth is one of your core values, you look for opportunities to grow as a person and to help others grow too. You take the time to identify your values and your overall mission so you can live in accordance with it and become more and more the person you have to be in order to fulfill your mission. You know that growth isn't a destination but a process, and you want to enjoy the process and help others to enjoy their own. You might take an interest in coaching or group growth opportunities where members support and encourage each other. You recognize true and wholehearted collaboration as an asset and a growth facilitator, and you prioritize growth over comfort and security. Real growth might mean taking things up at home or at work, but the more committed you are to your growth and to that of those you care about, the less you mind rocking the boat. Growth code: every day I am growing more into the person I want to be. Listening. If active listening is core value for you, you value others' input and invest time and energy in learning how to see things from their perspective. So it makes sense that when someone wants to tell you something, you give them full attention and thoroughly consider their words. Whereas before you felt tense with the expectation of having to defend your beliefs against an unfriendly viewpoint, you have learned through practice to listen with genuine openness rather than an egocentric fear of being proven wrong. Recognize that you don't know everything and you don't see even familiar things from every angle. So you appreciate it when others share their perspectives, and your body language as well as your feedback shows them you are listening and you care, and that you care about what they have to say. I listen to others with my full attention so I can learn from them and show thoughtful consideration for their ideas. Respect. If you want to be known for treating all human or living beings with respect, you probably base that respect on something more fundamental than someone's rank or social status. Otherwise, why would you consider it a priority to treat all humans with equal respect, regardless of their age, income, or background? Or why would you put more energy into making sure the least exalted among you is treated with respect than into making sure others treat you with same consideration? It doesn't mean you don't consider yourself equally worthy of respect, but you find it easy to put yourself in other people's shoes. So in making sure they feel respected, you feel more respected too. Respected code: I treat all living beings with the same respect with which I like to be treated. Self giving. Another word for self giving is sacrifice, but self giving has a more positive connotation. And essentially, you are giving of yourself, your time, your attention, your energy, your treasure, your abilities to help or enrich others. Real love doesn't hesitate to give it of itself until it hurts, knowing that the momentary pain is nothing compared to the benefit won by that self giving. The word selfless implies that someone has given so much of themselves they have reserved nothing for their own use or enjoyment. But in giving yourself, if you give out of love, your joy is in what that gift brings to others. Self giving can be overdone, but only when the motive is pride or insecurity rather than love. Self giving code I give of myself to others, not only to connect with them but to acknowledge our connectedness. What I give to them, I also receive. Vision. You may be used to talking about vision in the context of specific person's vision for the future, but the larger sense of vision is not something that you own or that comes from you. It comes through you and inspires you and others. Because the larger vision isn't confined to your ego. The power of that vision is free to attract, illuminate, and follow through you. Your vision is connected to one that is infinite and uncontrollable. You do not exist to serve yourself at the expense of others. You exist to cooperate with others in the creation of a community that benefits all living creatures. Your personal vision, what you see as your response to your larger vision, informs your personal mission and the process by which you live out that mission. It's not about the lifestyle you want or the things you will have when you are successful. It has more to do with allowing yourself to be led by the greater vision through your personal links to it, your intuition and inner wisdom. Vision code. I live according to a vision guided by my inner wisdom and judgment. Authenticity is being truthful about who you are. It means speaking your truth openly and honestly and not hiding for fear of criticism or judgment, which will come anyway. As an authentic person, you don't expect or need to be liked by anyone, by everyone. You accept that some will have a problem with you and find it easy to judge you for what you reveal yourself. Some will feel affronted by your out there-ness. That doesn't stop you from living your life as you choose to, nor does it stop you from sharing some of what you have learned from your own mistakes. You put it out there, trusting that at least one reader will feel less alone because of it. It's a gamble you are willing to make. You don't see the point in pretending to be someone you are not in or holding who you are. Some will see your faults more easily and focus on them, but their opinions are not your responsibility or your business. And there is freedom in recognizing that. Authenticity could I live and speak my truth, choosing not to fear criticism or judgment. Balance. It's easy to balance work, relationships, and self care, but you know from experience how important it is to do so. It is too easy to sideline self care to get more done, or to put off date nights with our partners so you can impress the boss and score the pay raise or promotion. Do not do it once, and it's even easier to do it again and again, etc. etc. This is not the way to live, though, and you know it. So you take note of where you are on now on your priority list when you review your actions for the day. You also take note of how much time you have invested in your relationships. You see the slope for what it is. Then you make some adjustments. You start building new habits to prioritize the daily self-care and daily investment in your relationships. And contrary to your fears, you don't run out of time for work. You still get things done, and you even enjoy it more than you used to, because balance code. When my priorities are in the right order, balance happens. Community. As a community minded person, while you are not responsible for how other people might feel about you and your actions, you choose to consider the impact of your choices on the people around you. You value their safety and well being and have goodwill toward them. Your behavior toward those in your community can affect them in various ways, and you want that effect to be as positive as possible. You can't control what others think of you, but you can control what you say and what actions you take. When you give up your seat to someone who looks tired and stressed, you step outside yourself to offer comfort or silent empathy to another. When you quietly disregard someone else's petty criticism, you choose better way forward for you both. And whether you have an active and visible presence in the community or you prefer to work behind the scenes, you make it a priority to leave it better off than you found it. Community code. I value all members of my community, whatever their beliefs or backgrounds. Compassion. Compassion is what helps you overcome the impulse to judge another harshly or to find fault with them. Choosing to see the good even when it's hidden. You put yourself in their shoes to see the situation from a different perspective. You are open to what they have to say and slow to assume they are in the wrong. You want to understand them more than you want to be right. This doesn't obligate you to expose yourself to the negativity or judgment of others. You might temporarily block someone's access to you to protect your headspace and well being, but you don't rule out the possibility of reconciliation and growth. You want to see others, even those who have hurt you, happy and growing. Ultimately, what they think of you doesn't matter, and it's not your business. You let go of hurt and send them warm, compassionate thoughts because you are aware of your own faults and you want everyone to get out of this life in better shape. Compassion code. I make compassion the foundation of my behavior and thoughts towards others. Creativity. I am a creator, you are a creator. As such, you have both the potential and innate drive to create things that make lives better, including your own. No matter how you express this impulse, through writing, art, craftsmanship, chemistry, robotics, etc. You put your something of yourself into your creation, and from that something, other things grow. You bury a living fingerprint and you leave your own. So it makes a sense for creativity to be one of your key values, not just because others see you as a creative sort, but because the creative impulse is your birthright, and you don't consider a life valued that doesn't honor that impulse and explore its potential. You don't wait for the day to bring you something new. You take what you have and create something. And being a social creature, more or less, you enjoy creating things you know other people will enjoy. I am creator with a unique genius all my own, which I use every day. 18. Generosity. Generosity is a willingness to share your blessings with those who have less. It's easy enough to share with people you know and like. It's another thing to share with those you don't get along with, or you seem to think you owe them what you have. The thing is, no one has a right to hold resources, and it makes no sense when one person can only enjoy so much. You would rather share what you have, so that fewer people will feel the pain of hunger and lack. Fewer will feel neglected, forgotten, and invisible. The generosity is about more than donating money or spending a bit more to support a worthy cause. A truly generous spirit is also quick to share intangible blessings, kindness, patience, goodwill, understanding, and forgiveness. You don't keep treasure of any kind locking up and of no use to anyone while people around you are starving or in pain. You put yourself in their place and share what you have to make their lives better. Otherwise, what's the point of having more than enough? Generosity code. I share my wealth with those who have less, and we all benefit. Justice. Justice, to be worthy of the name, must apply equally to all people, regardless of their race, gender, identity, income, age, or sexual orientation. You have seen injustice and you share the anger of those who have suffered it. Justice is a driving force for you because you see it in denied to so many because their race or gender isn't represented or respected by those in power. You will do what you can to correct that. Maybe you have chosen a career that allows you to fight to obtain justice for the underserved, or maybe you will use your creative talent or time or other resources to further causes for justice. Whatever you start to score points or to be seen, it is look those fellow human beings in the eye and let them know how you see them and they want want what they want, because they have as much right to justice as anyone else. I do what I can to fight injustice wherever I see it. I am my brother's keeper. Learning. You are a big believer in the value of always learning. I am as an independent scholar, you look for ways to learn about the things that interest you, and you have plenty of resources to choose from: books, video or documentaries, websites, podcasts, TED Talks, etc. You are so hungry for learning that you might find it hard to spend your reading time on fiction. Though you do love a good story, it's just that there are so many things you want to learn more about, and you have so little time comparatively. So sit and relax with a book. You have so many interests that it's hard to stay focused on just one, and you love to find connections between seemingly disparate ideas and disciplines. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know and how much more there is to learn, which excites you. Will never run out of things to learn, and it will never get boring. Learning code, I am not becoming an expert, but always be learning. Freedom. Viktor Frankl called the last human freedoms the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, and the way to describe this is by exercising your responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings. You choose how to feel about something just as you choose how to act. The inner freedom is what you value more than any flag or statue or anthem, because no one can take that away from you. It's perfectly understandable also to cherish the outward freedoms you enjoy, but if you lost them, you would not also lose yourself. So while you will always speak up against injustice and against tyranny you should, you also recognize that if you were to lose the advantages you now enjoy, and any of us could, you would not live as though you had no freedom at all. You can always decide how you will react. You know that freedom without responsibility is a recipe for chaos, and responsibility without freedom is impossible. They depend on each other. Freedom to exercise my freedom to choose how I react, how I feel, and how what I do. Loyalty. Loyalty implies a connection or implicit agreement between two people. When you are loyal to someone, they hold a special place in your life. They take priority over others. Their concern have more weight with you. You probably hope to have the same effect on the people you love. You hope you hold a special place in their lives, and that if you need them, they would show up for you. And other words, and other words that come to mind in connection with loyalty are faithfulness, dependability, trustworthiness, allegiance, and attachment. When you null over these words, certain people come to the forefront, and you hope the loyalty is mutual. You feel the effects of your loyalty towards others mainly because of your how your loyalty inspire actions affect you and the people around you. In the same way, other people's loyalty or lack of loyalty toward you as an effect. As long as the loyalty or lack thereof doesn't sabotage anyone's best interest, and the effects are generally good. You see the potential dark side of loyalty when it takes priority over the best interest of those involved, and you keep it in mind. I value loyalty that does good to everyone and connected with it. Openness. You're open to new people and new experiences. From the moment you heard the words, I will try just about anything else, anything once. You made it your mantra and repeat it in your mind whenever you face something new: a new job opportunity, a new kind of food or drink, a new place for vacation or road trip, a new person with new ideas, a new clothing or shoe style. It's not that you necessarily crave novelty, but you do want to be open to considering different viewpoints, perspectives, and ideas. As with compassion, you want to understand them for more than you want to be right. Your mind hasn't comprehended everything there is to comprehend. Where there is always more to learn. As much as with compassion you want to understand them more than you want to be right. Your mind hasn't comprehended everything there is to comprehend. There is always more to learn, and just as you value continual learning, you value openness and the curiosity that supports it. Maybe there is reality, nothing new under the sun, but it's enough that it's new for you. I welcome new experiences, new ideas, and new people. Prudence. Generally speaking, prudence is doing or saying the right thing at the right time in the right way. You can have great timing and get it wrong anyway. You can also do the right thing in the right way and still end up with regrets. Prudence looks at the bigger picture and the deeper consequences of your words and actions. You value prudence because much as you want to do something, something. Sometimes the situation calls for patience and circumspection. The value of prudence has nothing to do with the prudishness, and you don't confuse real prudence with the paralysis that comes from obsessing over all the things that could go wrong. Prudence contains wisdom, not paranoia, and it has nothing to do with fake purity or self-righteousness. The best leaders cultivate prudence to better serve those they lead. The best teachers cultivate prudence to encourage and challenge their students in the most effective way. The best therapists value prudence because it helps them make the most of their intuition. Prudence is the ultimate superpower. I am cultivating prudence to make the best possible impact on every life I touch. Resilience is the ability to recover from and adapt to change or misfortune. In other words, when things go bad, you find a way to pivot and keep moving forward. Life knocks you down and you get back every time. You don't pat yourself on the back for it. You do it because you gotta. Quitting is just waiting to die, and you want more out of life than extended hospice stay. If there is a way to get back up and get moving again, you will find it because you don't see any acceptable alternative. So even if you'd like to stop existing or existing for for an hour or so, just to catch a break, you look at your options and grab onto something. It doesn't have to be something you can hold on to for long. You don't look at each getting up as proof you can't be kept down for long. Life is moment to moment. You haven't undergone every test, and this getting back up is your answer to only one of them. But the more you respond to knockdowns by getting back up, the more automatic it becomes. Resilience code. I cultivate resilience by looking for the lesson in every challenge. Responsibility. You take responsibility for your words and actions and how they impact your life and the lives of others. When you have hurt someone, you do what you can to make amends. You are not too proud to apologize when you know you are in the wrong. On the other hand, you do not take responsibility for the way others feel about you. You do nothing to offend others deliberately, and if you are aware that a certain expression gives offense, you respect others enough to apologize and abandon that expression for good. You address others with their proper pronouns and treat them with the same respect you hope to receive. When you fail in this, you apologize and strive to do better. But while you own your own feelings and don't blame them on others, you don't own the feelings others might have blame on you. Owning. When you said that, I felt, insert feeling here. Blaming. When you said that, you made me feel, insert feeling here. So much as you might enjoy bringing a smile to people's faces, you know you are not responsible for someone else's feelings, just as no one else is responsible for yours. I take responsibility for my own words, actions, and feelings. Self respect. You know the value of self respect because you have seen the consequences of those who have none. And you have seen how easy it is to deprioritize yourself when so many other priorities crowd your plate. You have to keep earning so you can pay the bills. You have to help the youngest with schoolwork. You have to run errands to buy food, etc. You have to attend those weekly appointments and our meetings. The upspoken words at the end of each of those you have to statements is the dreaded or else. And the imagined consequences stem for worse than simply postpone is sober so you can get something finished in time for one of those appointments. You know how it feels. Okay, thank you.